There comes a moment in every man's life when something becomes painfully clear. No one is coming to save him. Not his friends, not his family, not time, not luck. Life does not pause because he is confused. It does not slow down because he is tired. And it does not soften its demands because he feels unprepared. Responsibility arrives regardless. For many men, this realization feels heavy, almost cruel, because for a long time hope was placed elsewhere, in opportunities that never came, in people who promised but left, in timing that was always not yet. But life does not operate on hope alone. It operates on action. And the moment a man accepts that no one is coming to rescue him, something important begins to change. Most men are not weak. They are waiting for motivation, waiting for clarity, waiting for confidence, waiting for the perfect moment to begin. But waiting has a cost. Time continues to move, responsibilities continue to pile up, and the gap between who a man is and who he could be quietly widens. This is not because he lacks ability, it is because he avoids ownership. Ownership of his choices, ownership of his habits. When no one is coming to save you, you are forced to confront an uncomfortable truth. Your life is your responsibility. Responsibility is often misunderstood. Many men see it as a burden, something heavy, something limiting. But responsibility is not the enemy. Avoidance is. A man who avoids responsibility does not become lighter. He becomes unstable. He drifts. He reacts. He lives at the mercy of circumstances. But a man who accepts responsibility begins to feel grounded. Not because life becomes easy, but because life becomes clear. Clarity does not come from answers. It comes from alignment. When actions align with values, when habits align with goals, when effort aligns with intention. And that alignment only happens when a man decides to carry his own weight. No one is coming to save you from your potential. This is one of the hardest truths to accept, because potential feels safe. It feels promising. It allows room for excuses. A man with potential can always say, "I could have been more." But a man who commits to action must face reality. He must face his limitations, his inconsistencies, his weaknesses, and this confrontation is uncomfortable. But discomfort is not danger. It is instruction. Discomfort teaches discipline. It reveals character. It exposes what must change. Many men mistake discipline for punishment. They believe discipline is something imposed, something forced, something harsh. But discipline is not punishment. Discipline is direction. It is the structure that guides effort when motivation disappears. It is the standard that remains when emotions fluctuate. A disciplined man does not rely on feeling ready. He relies on principle. He does what must be done because it must be done. And over time, this reliability creates confidence. Not loud confidence, quiet confidence. The kind that does not need validation, the kind that does not panic under pressure. When no one is coming to save you, you stop negotiating with yourself. No more tomorrow, no more when things settle down. No more waiting for the perfect conditions. Action becomes necessary, and necessity is powerful. It strips away excess. It clarifies priorities. It forces focus. This is why responsibility often feels heavy at first, because it demands order. But order is what gives life shape. Without order, effort is scattered. Energy is wasted. Discipline brings order. Order brings direction. Direction brings progress. A man who avoids responsibility often feels overwhelmed. But overwhelm is rarely about quantity. It is about lack of structure. Too many loose ends. Too many unfinished commitments. Too many promises made to himself and broken. Each broken promise erodes self-trust. And a man who does not trust himself will always feel uneasy. Discipline repairs this trust. Every small commitment kept becomes evidence. Evidence that you can rely on yourself. Evidence that you are capable of consistency. And consistency builds identity. Identity is not what a man says about himself. It is what his actions confirm. You do not become disciplined by thinking about discipline. You become disciplined by practicing it. Daily, quietly, without applause. This is where many men quit. Because there is no immediate reward, no recognition, no visible progress. But discipline compounds. What feels insignificant today becomes strength tomorrow. And one day, a man looks back and realizes he did not change suddenly. He changed gradually by refusing to abandon himself. No one is coming to save you from responsibility. And that is not a tragedy. It is an invitation to step into ownership, to build structure, to define standards, to stop outsourcing your life to circumstances and people. A man who accepts this invitation stops asking for permission. He does not wait to be chosen. He chooses himself, not in arrogance, but in accountability. Freedom is often misunderstood. Many believe freedom means having no obligations, but the men with no obligations are often the most restless. True freedom comes from self-governance, from knowing you are not controlled by impulse, mood, or distraction. Discipline creates this freedom, because when you govern yourself, life does not have to govern you. There will be days when discipline feels heavy, days when effort feels unrewarded, days when progress feels invisible. These days matter the most, because discipline practiced on easy days does not build resilience. Discipline practiced on difficult days does. This is where character is formed, not in moments of success, but in moments of persistence. No one is coming to save you from becoming who you are meant to be. That responsibility is yours. And while that may feel daunting, it is also empowering. Because it means your life is not waiting on permission, it is waiting on decision. If you feel lost, return to discipline. If you feel overwhelmed, return to structure. If you feel behind, return to responsibility. These are not punishments, they are anchors. They ground a man in a world that constantly pulls him apart. No one is coming to save you. And that is exactly why you must learn to stand quietly, consistently, with discipline. HEmatters. Discipline, responsibility, growth.